All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome again to another episode of Blerd Lines. Of course, you have your host, G Hove. Again, with me, like always, is Tuga. And last but not least, we have Byron B. White Brown joining us. Welcome, gentlemen. And today we're going to be talking about the greatest comic book movie bracket. Since, we're all stuck in the house, there's no sports going on. Right now, with March Madness, actually, would the NCAA tournament be happening or would it be over right now?
It would be right now. It'd be done.
It'd be done. Yeah. But since none of us did a bracket, we figured, hey, let's come up with our own bracket.
So NBA playoffs will be going on right now.
Not this early. No, later in April.
Start in April.
Yeah. Oh, okay. NBA playoffs start like the second week. Yeah.
I was about to say this will be that week they're resting and they be gearing up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So what we decided to do was just come up with our own bracket. Made a best movie win. We got it separated into 4 regions. Of course, region 1, MCU, the top 16 movies in the MCU, with, of course, Avengers Endgame having that number 1 bracket. Then you have all movies, Marvel movies, not MCU, with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse holding down that number 1 bracket. Next, you got DC movies, DCEU and DC, with The Dark Knight holding down the number 1 bracket. We can agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yes. All right. And then you got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles holding down the non-DC, non-Marvel comic book movies. Now, before we begin, y'all, out of those number 1 seeds, who do you think is the stronger number 1? And who do you think has the harder chance to get out of their bracket?
Well, the stronger number 1 is obviously going to be Endgame.
No. That ain't the strongest number 1. You got Endgame, you got Dark Knight, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and what's the other one?
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was a beast too.
It was, but I'll give it number 2. The hardest one is going to be that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That TNT.
They have the hardest bracket to come out
they have
of.
the hard, like for them to get out of. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they got the hardest bracket, but I thought we meant like top overall, like number 1, like the number 1 seed, like overall.
Yeah. So who do you think is number 1 overall?
I'm going The Dark Knight. That's got Oscars. That's got the allure of losing, like the main star. It has everything it needs to be for to be a classic through and through. Like,
I give that the number 2 or number 3. I don't know why.
Endgame. The thing about Endgame is it hinges on Infinity War. Like, yeah, so in a 2-movie capsule, those two are like that. That's some of the best 5-6 hours of your life, if you want to be honest. But Endgame standalone, I'll choose Infinity War over Endgame any day. Endgame really, if we want to get into it, Endgame really only gave us the final fight scene. Well, I break the final fight scene down in 2. Thor, Iron Man, Captain America going at it, where Captain America gets the Mjolnir.
Okay,
that is the best part. And then when the portals open and on your left. Like, that's the best parts of, and Tony Stark dying. Like, everything happened.
Spoiler alert, by the way, if you hadn't seen these movies.
No, listen, if you haven't seen Endgame, something's wrong with you. So,
I don't care about spoiling that.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. If you're watching this video and you hadn't seen Endgame, then do you really call yourself a comic book movie fan?
No.
So that's what I'm saying. Everything in Endgame happened in that final chapter.
Okay, I get what you're saying. From overall start of the movie to the end. I get what you're saying. Only reason I said Endgame,
number 1 overall.
Only reason I said Endgame was because just the anticipation of it, like the overall conclusion, how it ties everything together, the ending we got, like to this day, like you can look at Endgame, and I can say this for The Dark Knight too. I don't get to. I always pick up something new or something different every time I watch it.
Now the thing I would have loved to have seen with The Dark Knight, because the closeout trilogy of that, the Joker was going to be the main villain again.
Yes.
But and that's why it went so, like, it almost went so dramatically different in the Dark Knight Rises, was because like that one was they weren't going to do that third movie at one point. Like they had a fourth that Christopher Nolan wanted to do, but Christian Bale backed out of it because they honestly didn't think they were going to do the third one. And they were like, that's going to be the last. But I really think they were going to go on they could have done a 5-movie arc for that. And it would have been crazy.
Yeah. All right. So looks like we're about to have some heated debates, some heated discussions. Remember, it's not about what you think is the best movie. It's about what each movie going against each other, which one's the best between those two.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, where do you guys want to start with these brackets?
So do you want to go through each bracket in itself all the way to their, I guess, the final one, and then go to the next one, or do you going first round?
We'll do first rounds and then go to the next ones.
All right, cool.
So let's just go ahead and start with MCU since we're already there. So MCU, we got the number 1 seed, Avengers Endgame, versus the number 16 seed, Captain Marvel.
Okay,
that's Endgame all day.
Yeah, that's Endgame. Like that's
unanimous.
See, the thing about some of these origin movies is that they don't like the second movie is almost like the best in any, I guess, like trilogy or whatever they're gonna like do with it. Like Captain Marvel was cool, but it was like a building piece to like the other movies, like tying it all in and how her presence.
I agree.
In the MCU, so.
Let me fix something real quick.
Yeah, no, you go. Yeah, that one is like, okay, you like Captain Marvel. Honestly, you could have left that movie out. To be perfectly honest, and you could have like kind of introduce her in Endgame, but I understand why they had to make that movie the last movie before Endgame.
My problem with Captain Marvel, I mean, like, I don't hate Captain Marvel. I think a lot of its success was very dependent on Infinity War and Endgame.
Yes.
I think if you released that movie at any different time, it wouldn't have made nowhere near the money it made. And I mean, it's not, you know, people want to argue, oh, it's because of it's a female superhero. I don't think that's true at all, because you have Wonder Woman. Yeah. Wonder Woman is far more superior than Captain Marvel in every way.
Agreed. Yeah,
I would choose
like that Wonder Woman. Like Wonder Woman, that movie is straight fire.
All right, next we got the 8 and 9 seed, Captain America: Civil War and Avengers: Infinity War.
I think Avengers: Infinity War could have honestly had a higher rank than 9 overall.
I think so too.
These were honestly out of that 23 movie arc of that phase 1.
Yeah.
These were 2 of the better movies.
Oh yeah, Captain America: Civil War,
like thematically, like
yes. Far as best story,
I don't like that they match up so fast together.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey, that's what happens. I will say this: I think the MCU is the stronger bracket. Because when you look at some of these other movies that are before it, you're going to be like, that does make sense.
Like that now, like, all right, so if I'm gonna have to choose one, I'm gonna have to choose Captain America: Civil War. Like that for me, from beginning to end, that is my favorite MCU movie. I can look at Captain America not Civil War. Matter of fact, sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong Captain America. Civil War
about Winter Soldier. No,
that Winter Soldier. That is probably my favorite MCU movie, but I don't get off topic with that. But that Infinity War and Civil War, I would probably have to say Civil War.
I'm almost saying we should. I really honestly think we should move Infinity War to like the 3rd seed and move that Avengers to that 8, because Infinity War is that movie from front to back is very good too. Like I'm talking about on the onset of that movie coming on, like Loki being like knocked out, like Thanos like establishing power, all the way through to like damn the Iron Man feeling defeated and everything, and like I don't know, man. That Infinity War is like Infinity War could have been the top seed in this entire bracket if we want to be real.
Well, let's see. Let's take a vote on it. Let's take a vote on it.
So
think about it though.
Move Infinity War to number 3.
Or
we talk about number 1.
No, switch them out.
Again? No, Just switch. Just switch. Infinity War and Avengers.
Yeah, the first Avengers.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Because think about Civil War is important too, because Black Panther, Spider-Man, all them got introduced into that.
Okay, yeah, I say that. I agree with that. Switch Avengers, Infinity War, and the first Avengers.
All right,
yeah,
that's no
man.
problem.
Right, hold on
we know what will win that.
I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second.
All right. I think I know. I don't even have to. I don't need to tell me. But BY, you can go ahead and tell me your thoughts. So, Civil War versus the Avengers.
Oh, that's Civil War Day. Just simply because I think that Avengers movie, that was one that was like a setup movie. It was all right, but you got to think like origin stories. They don't try and give you too much. They just try to, introduce more on the characters, things of that sort in the Avengers. Which all they really did in that one was almost like a Captain America style movie. I think more so.
Yeah.
And that was just getting the figures together. But yeah, Civil War, man, that might have been the like I said, the Captain America movies were solid, especially the last two, Civil War and the Winter Soldier. Storylines, those went crazy on that. So
I would say it's tough because I say with the Avengers, like there's some awesome scenes, like with Thor fighting the Hulk for the first time. You got the scene where Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man meet for the first time, and one of my favorite scenes is that shot where after Hulk is like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm always angry." He turns to the Hulk, and he punches that war war worm, and then it's that circular shot that's all of them.
Oh yeah, when it was about to hit the close,
when it's about to go down
on the bridge.
But with that being said,
shit got real.
That airport scene in Civil War is what I'm
going Civil War
as kids when I was little. Like that, to me, that's like your toy set as a kid coming to life.
I'm going Civil War.
Like that did it. Like, I mean, that scene in itself, like you said, if you just want to just take that scene in the vacuum and compare it to the best scene in the Avengers in Civil War, that takes.
Like I said, I just watched Civil War. That had to have been two nights ago.
Yeah.
I just watched Civil War again from 2 nights ago, and I didn't like that movie.
If I'm bored and want to go to movie, it's either Infinity War or Civil War. To be honest with you, those are like, as far as like Marvel movies where I can just sit there and watch. Like those are the top two in there. Which I thought Iron Man and we'll get under this, but Iron Man had all his best performances in other people's movies too.
Yeah.
We'll say that. So,
hold on. Hey, I'll be right back, y'all.
All right. But even though like that I gotta go Civil War of Avengers. That Civil War because they introduced Black Panther, introduced Spider-Man. I know y'all probably went over all that, but like I didn't realize how important that that Spider-Man and Iron Man scene in Civil War was until later on.
Played out in other movies. Yeah, that's what I said. Like Civil War is one of those foundational movies that has so many like roots into other style movies and stuff. That's why
and then Captain America and Black Panther, because in the comics, those two are tightly intertwined.
Right.
Ever since T'Challa's dad, T'Chaka, back when he was a Black Panther, Captain America coming over there and everything, and they had that relationship, and then those two set the foundation for those two duels.
All right, this next one gonna be a good one.
Yeah. So next one, we got the number 5 seed versus the number 12 seed. Thor Ragnarok versus Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
This one's actually kind of easy for me. This one would have been tougher if it was Thor Ragnarok versus the first Guardians.
Yeah. I'm going Thor Ragnarok. The only reason because that's when Thor, he realized that the power was in him the whole time.
I'm going off for the fact that it's the best Thor movie.
I was
hands
just about
down.
to say that. Like that saved that whole Thor like story arc or whatever for me. That's
like
easy.
it's agreed. Like Thor is that Thor trilogy is probably one of the weakest trilogy of movies for any of the top 3 characters.
Yeah, it is. And one thing we in that Guardians, you can see the tone change in which James Gunn said that from like pretty much like movie to movie is gonna be different in that Guardians 3, like that iteration of the Guardians, that was gonna be it from there. So you kind of understood that there was a few people that were gonna die off, maybe go other places or whatever. So you can see that changing in Guardians 2.
It's kind of setting that up.
Yeah, but Guardians 1 though, like that movie was so slept on. Like we'll get there. We'll get there next time.
Yeah.
We talk about that.
But not like I said, now Thor Ragnarok. I like how they brought Hela into it. How even though Hela is technically Loki's daughter in the comics, but I like the way how they. That's one thing I do like about the Marvel movies. Like a lot of people, even coming out of the movie theaters, hearing some of these things, like people, that's not how it happened in comics. But you kind of have to change the story around because then it'll get boring.
Yeah, I mean, and then you can't adapt it right from comics because some things and like look at when comics were made, like
like
a lot of that stuff isn't even like politically correct to adapt now, so you got to change some of that stuff.
I'm also gonna say this about Thor Ragnarok. We'll go to the next one. It got my girl Tessa Thompson in it.
Yeah,
no, for sure. Like that Thor Ragnarok and what they did was they played like. I like her and Thor, like Tessa and Helm's relationship in that because like you can see it in Men in Black too. Like how when they did the Men in Black movie, like how they played off each other and almost. But he said that it was the Ghostbusters movie, the all-female cast, where he was the secretary in that one.
Oh yeah, he's the best part of the movie.
And they were saying like they took some of that, like just the free balling or whatever that they did on set and put that in Thor, so you can see that.
All right, so next we got Ant-Man versus Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's no question. Guardians.
Yeah. It's Guardians. And the thing, I love Ant-Man. Ant-Man is
I do
one
like
of the most underrated Marvel MCU movies, but it's Guardians.
Guardians was slept on. Like nobody expected Guardians to do well at the box office or nothing, and that movie just like.
Yeah,
I mean,
I will say this.
Honestly, if we being real,
I thought it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to like.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that good.
No, what makes the Guardians movie so great are the soundtracks. Like James Gunn has an ear for music and adapting that into the movie, man. Like that first Guardians, that like all the music that's played in that, like you can't find a better soundtrack in the movie.
Yeah, no, and the thing, I got it on vinyl.
Yeah, that's like the greatest soundtrack.
Yeah. All right, so next, based on everyone's opinion, and I think I know how this is going to be.
Yeah.
Avengers Infinity War versus Doctor Strange.
Yes, Infinity War. Like that Infinity War, that movie, it was everything. It was so. You got to think about it. This is like the first Marvel movie or first any comic movie that the villain actually won. Like, I remember I walked out because I know there wasn't an end credit scene, so I walked out the movie early just to get everyone's reaction walking out of there. I mean, there were grown men, there was women, there were kids, they were crying. Now, and saying
that, a whole lot sadder than Endgame.
Oh yeah. Listen. That Endgame was okay. This whole movie was like okay. It set everything up for Endgame, Infinity War, because Captain America tried to do it separately. Iron Man tried to do it separately. And obviously it shows how like separately they couldn't do it. So they obviously had to come together in Endgame for it to even work. I just wasn't expecting all those people. That's the only thing. Even though I know in the comics that's what happened, but I wasn't thinking they was going to do Spider-Man like that. Spider-Man got me. The boy was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, the Spider-Man was tough to grasp. But I think, like you said, a lot of Infinity War did set up Endgame. Like, as a 2 movie, like if you just made that into one big
And
6
that's
hour
what it was
movie,
supposed to be.
then that's gonna probably top all of these if we want to be honest.
And it's like the first movie, like besides The Dark Knight, you kind of was rooting for Thanos. Like you was rooting for the Joker in The Dark Knight just because of just all the chaos that he brought. But in Infinity War, you were like, okay, I understand where Thanos is coming from. Like you could, like they made Thanos relatable.
I'm going to say this with Infinity War. There's 2 reasons why I love Infinity War. One, the Hulk getting dropped off in the first 5 minutes.
Boy.
Yeah.
Like Thanos gave this man these hands.
Yeah.
Second reason, seeing children all over the world cry when Spider-Man got dusted.
Yeah. Spider-Man is like, also Spider-Man is like the ultimate like childhood superhero. Like,
he's top 3. He's top 3 most popular superhero of all time behind Batman and Superman.
I think he's number 1.
No.
Batman.
No, listen. I think like overall, I can't remember. I could be wrong, but they did a poll. Overall in the world, the most popular superhero is going to be Spider-Man. Next is Superman, then it's Batman.
That's tough. I mean, you can't argue with either one.
Yeah, no, you can't argue.
My favorite part of Infinity War was the way he was like, who is Gamora? Where is Gamora? Who is Gamora? Why is Gamora?
Yes.
But all that, like all the best parts in Infinity War was ad-lib. Like everything was ad-lib.
Yeah. Plus, you gotta look at Endgame made the most money and it ended the story. But to be fair, whoever would have thought you would have gotten a movie like Infinity War that brought in everyone?
That's my thing. See, Infinity War crawled so Endgame could walk. Like, Endgame, the hype from Endgame was, you knew it was the closing arc of Phase 1, but it was like, all right, like, how do we get right with Infinity War? Like, how do we like make this the thing? And so, like, that Infinity Saga together, like that's
I'm gonna say something nice about Doctor Strange, because I'm just not gonna leave Doctor Strange hanging like it's not a good movie. There's some things in Doctor Strange I like, some concept that they use. I love the end of fight with Dormammu, where he just keeps turning back time, and just pissing him off. I did enjoy that, but honestly, Doctor Strange is better in Infinity War.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and that's what I said. You can see that he's more confident in Infinity War, but with that, it's just one of those origin movies. The same thing. It's just like they got to build a story. So like it lacks in certain areas. Like some action was there, but like the depth of the story isn't really there, because you got to follow along with everything that the MCU is trying to do. You can't move too fast in a certain aspect. Yeah, that's why I was surprised that with the release of that Black Widow movie, that's got to have some big like twist in it to where it makes that movie relevant for phase two.
It's going to have
something. Like, it's got to have a twist.
It's going to have a twist, because now you got to go ahead.
What do you like, sweetheart? You want Infinity War, or you like Doctor Strange? Oh, now you want to be silent when the spotlight's on you, huh? You want to go watch Baby Shark? Go watch Baby Shark.
Go watch Baby Shark.
All right. So let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Spider-Man Far From Home versus Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Yeah. I mean, the culture alone.
Black Panther. I mean, I like Far From Home, but I like Homecoming better than I like Far From Home.
I will say this. Far From Home, if I wasn't a Spider-Man fan, the twist with Mysterio is a really good twist. If you don't know Spider-Man history and don't know who Mysterio really is.
Now, my favorite part in Spider-Man Far From Home was the scene where he went to go face Mysterio, and he actually turned into Mysterio from the comics with all the illusions and everything else. That's probably the best part of Far From Home that I enjoyed.
Yeah. Oh, and then also I also love with Far From Home, my boy J.K. Simmons showing back up as J. Jonah
J.
Jameson.
Jonah
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But with Black Panther, I mean, the culture,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
the fact
you
that I
got
mean,
it.
granted, we've had like black superheroes before, but I don't think we had black superhero on this level.
I gotta throw that Black Panther in there.
Yeah.
You have to.
For cultural purposes.
All right. Yeah. But we got that second round matchup is going to be something.
Yeah.
All right. Next we got Spider-Man Homecoming versus Iron Man.
Listen,
This
you
is
already
a tough
know. This really isn't that tough, man.
No,
Iron Man.
Go ahead.
Iron Man. This first Iron Man was so epic, man. Like I remember going to the movie theater and seeing this and being like, yo, and then to see where it came from there, because that movie as a standalone by itself, that Happy Hogan, John Favreau produced it or directed.
Yes.
Like he did the first two. Like that, like Iron Man, like I said, it started all of this though.
Yes,
and
it started everything off.
See, and what was so great about it is like Iron Man is Marvel's like Batman as far as like their flashiness and stuff like that. Of course, like Tony is a bit above with his technology and everything, but I mean like billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, like that he called himself. Like you can't top that. Like
not to mention it gave us really the first, I would say, successful post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Like that Samuel Jackson showing up in the room.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm Nick Fury. I'm here to talk about the Avengers Initiative.
But and that's when everything like lifted off. Like
honestly, that movie, think about it now. That movie was before there was even going to be an MC. That's where Disney even got involved with anything. And it was so popular that
Disney got involved after the second one. Like technically with the second one going on, because if you look at the first one, you saw Tony like being like the playboy, like sleeping with all the reporters, drinking and all of that. And when you look how that evolved, like they stopped doing that because Disney wanted to like tone that down some. Like,
my only issue with Iron Man is the disrespect of Terrence Howard, man.
He
brought that on himself.
He wanted to be paid more than Robert Downey.
I know. But I kind of wanted to see a Terrence Howard War Machine.
I prefer Don. I think Don.
I do think Don Cheadle is better, but I want to see that.
See what this would have did for Terrence Howard's career, though. Like, let's see where he would have went. Like, granted, I don't think he lost any checks or lost any sleep behind it. Yeah. But if he would have just like calmed down, but like you said, like you couldn't see on the horizon that character was going to be in so many more movies.
Yeah,
like,
even with like
Terrence Howard that at the
time. Yeah, because even with Iron Man, like Robert Downey Jr. didn't really get his payday till pretty much after Avengers. Like his stuff is like you get paid more depending on how this goes. You get most of your money on the back end. It just so happened that he played. He kept his nose clean. He played his cards right. And he got a little.
I like how you said that, by the way.
Rehab. I was right. I was just about to say, fresh out of rehab.
Pun intended.
This was like, and that's the thing. Like when you look about what Iron Man did for the MCU and stuff, but look at what it did for Robert Downey Jr. Like that put him like back on the map. And like since then, he's been like one of my like favorite actors because it's like, he was pretty much like written off. Like he had some earlier movies where he did some things, but like. Honestly, like this, like set his career.
This was his career. Yeah, this was his career resurgence.
And it's so funny how like they were like, okay, well, we'll give your money on the back end because they didn't expect this to take off like that. And it got to a point where like, oh shit, we got to pay him now. Like we got to pay him.
Payday that year when he dropped the movie with Zach Galifianakis where they had to drive across the country. I forgot what that was.
Oh, Due Date.
Where his wife Due Date. You had the movie The Soloist with him and Jamie Foxx, and then you had I want to say
the one with him and he's being a lawyer.
That was the one with him and the old dude, but that was a little bit later. I know what you're talking about. But it was 1 year where he had like 3 movies came up at one time, and like he like ruled the box office. Like I think I want to say Avengers. I want to say it was the Avengers.
Yeah, it was right after the
was
Avengers because that's when he had
Sherlock
to redo
Holmes.
his contract.
Yeah, and then and then you hit the Sherlock Holmes run, which they're waiting on the trilogy. They're doing the third movie in that trilogy, so that's gonna be fire.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Iron Man's a clear winner. Sorry, Spider-Man Homecoming.
But to mention something on Spider-Man, I do think that the best character for Spider-Man has been Tom Holland. Like he fits.
Oh yeah.
Like in the comic book adaptation. So I will say that.
Yeah, he's the best Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Hands down. All right, next. I think this is a clear, but we had to show respect to it. Captain America, the First Avenger versus Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
It's going to be Winter Soldier, but I went ahead and I looked back at that first Captain America. Low key, that first Captain America was that first Captain America was straight.
That first Cap wasn't bad. But like I said, again, it didn't got nothing on Winter Soldier. Like Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, like those might be the three best movies in that 22 movie arc. Like, you can throw Guardians in there, of course.
Winter Soldier is my favorite. That's my favorite Marvel movie. Like just from beginning to end, the storyline. When Cap was in that elevator, and this man was like, "All right, so who wants to get off? Who wants to get off?" That was probably one of my favorite fight scenes because it was so enclosed. It had so many guys in that elevator. Listen, that's probably my best fight scene.
Like if we want to really go back to a fight scene that was pretty raw was Iron Man holding his own against Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
In Civil War when he was like, "All right, figure out their pattern," and he started giving them the business.
Yes, like. That was raw.
Now when he blew Bucky's arm off, a Cap turned into a different Cap. Cap was giving Iron Man hands.
I mean, yeah, but Cap was like Cap. Like I said, like
listen, nobody knew how strong. Nobody knew. And we knew Cap was strong, but nobody knew how strong Cap was until Civil War.
Yeah, because when he tried to
held that damn helicopter.
Yeah, that was Civil War.
And he started kicking he started kicking people like 20 and 30 feet. Like we knew he was strong, but we didn't know he was that strong.
Yeah. All right, so we got our first round for Marvel set. Let's go for MCU. Let's go into the Marvel category.
Okay, all right. First question I will have to ask: which Fantastic Four is this?
It is the Chris Evans first Fantastic Four.
Okay,
not Fan Four Stick.
Oh. Okay, got you.
Yeah, but I think the clear winner. I'm just going to move it over.
Yeah,
let's do this. Let's save the good arguments for when it's the better matchups.
Okay.
Yeah, Spider-Man to Spider-Verse. That's easy.
Ooh, X-Men United versus the Sam Raimi.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, the first Tobey Maguire.
Ooh, I would probably have to say Spider-Man.
I'm going to have to say X-Men 2 United.
X-Men 2? Okay.
And here's why.
Okay.
Here's why. Compared to those, like I went back and watched the first Spider-Man. Yeah. No.
See, and that's the thing I hate about those comic. Not necessarily hate, but the thing that was most obvious about those comic book movies in that era around that time was they tried to make it seem like it was from a comic book. That's why that Dark Knight trilogy was so refreshing. It was because it was like, they actually made it like a movie and not like a live action cartoon or whatever. So that's the thing that kind of hurts the other Spider-Mans is because it's like the Dark Knight. And it could have been other like superhero movies, but it gave you like an idea of not adapting this to make it feel like it's an actual comic book, but more so like a comic book character in a real movie.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
So that's why I'm going X. That's why I'm going X.
Okay, I mean I agree with it, but I just think that that's Spider-Man because the significance of it. And when it did, because that was like the first, I won't say like the first, but yeah, it was like the first like superhero. Hey, this is a box office.
I wouldn't say that because Batman was a box office.
No, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like the first 89 Batmans. Those were different. I'm talking about when this became. Hey, this makes us over $100 million, like close to $1 billion range. That first Spider-Man was like that.
I don't know, because I think if Batman 89 if ticket prices would have been what they were then, I think it would have made over $100 million too.
Yeah, Batman 89, and that's Tim Burton's first one, right?
Yeah, that was his first one.
That one, and that's Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one. Like I vividly remember that one as a kid, and if we talk about like some of like favorite like. We'll get there. I'm sure.
We'll get there.
We'll talk about that one.
All right. So next, we got X-Men: Days of Future Past versus Venom.
We're
gonna have a lot of X-Men versus Spider-Man matchups, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. This one was a tough one. Only reason because Venom was low key a sleeper. I probably have to say Venom because they did what was the storyline? Was it Ultimate Protector or something? I forgot the storyline for Venom, what they called it, but they adapted. Like Venom can clearly go on. It does not have to have Spider-Man into it.
Yeah, I think that's what their whole thing was, because with Sony, Sony still owns the Tom Holland Spider-Man that they're quote unquote lending to Marvel, but that Spider-Man has too many ties to Marvel, and I don't think that they want this Venom to carry those same ties. So that's why they're trying to.
Yeah, I probably have to say
that's
Venom.
why they're gonna go heavy on the like Venom series with Carnage and all the others and stuff like that.
Lethal
they
Protector.
may eventually cross. They may cross back over, but I don't see that happening for a while if Sony has the wherewithal to like, make it mesh later on down the life. Like,
Lethal Protector. That's the storyline that it has for Venom that they adapted for the first one is Lethal Protector. But in saying that, this Days of Future Past is probably, besides the first trilogy, next to X-Men First Class, that's probably one of my favorite X-Men movies.
I'll be honest with you. I like what you feel about Venom. I feel that way about Days of Future Past. Like, to me, this was to me what before Avengers Infinity War was, bringing two separate franchises together.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you got Hugh Jackman going back in time and being with James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. And come on, man, you cannot forget about the Quicksilver scene.
Yeah, that Quicksilver scene was actually pretty dope.
I mean, to be fair, their Quicksilver completely shitted on Avengers Age of Ultron Quicksilver.
I mean, you can't even really count that. Quicksilver, but I think they did a disservice with him. They probably could have did more with him, but like you said, with so many other characters and where they were going, Marvel was going more so cosmic, and they couldn't have another just like earthbound like superhero or whatever. So they you gotta have something that can transcend into space. So I think he was just like a reference point. Like, all right, like he was, he was hit on for a second, and all right, we got to move forward.
Yeah. But I'm going to go with X-Men: Days of Future Past. What about you, B.Y.? You're the tiebreaker here. I
was going to go with the wait, what did you go with, too? I thought you went Days of Future Past, too.
I changed my mind. I went with Venom originally, but then I, like how G said, I went through and I thought about what the story told in Days of Future Past. I'm switching to Days of Future Past.
I think we can put Days of Future Past there as well too, because
I just really like Venom. I like what they did with Venom.
Venom is a lot better than what I thought it was going to be, but that Days of Future
I don't think
Past,
that's going. Venom ain't going to reach its full potential until like the next movie, maybe the movie after the next. Like that was one, like you said, they had to find a storyline to tiptoe around having to involve Tom Holland Spider-Man in that whole game. So.
All right, so next we got X-Men versus Spider-Man 2.
X-Men, I'm sorry. Ooh. That first X-Men movie, man.
Yeah.
Like that Spider-Man too, but that first X-Men movie really like, woke some stuff up. Like, even though that I think it drug on too long and they just started getting real jokey with the storylines or whatever.
Yeah.
But the first three X-Men movies, like that trilogy holds up pretty well.
Yeah. Besides the last one. The last one was okay.
And the third one, talking about the where she actually turned into the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Underwater.
Yeah.
So I will say this.
No. When she turned, no. That's the second one.
That used to be my least favorite.
When she came back
until Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Kill her.
Yeah. That's the one I'm talking about. That one was.
You like Dark Phoenix, G?
No, I hate Dark Phoenix. That's what I'm saying. Last Stand used to be my least favorite until Dark Phoenix.
I would call Spider-Man 2. That's the one with Doc Ock.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going with Spider-Man 2.
You know what? I'm sorry. I could put Spider-Man 2
because that Spider-Man, even though that first Spider-Man was good, that Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock, that storyline in itself from beginning to end, because he started to lose his powers, his confidence, and then he had to get that jump start when Doc Ock came for Mary Jane.
Dude, that subway scene. When the New Yorkers are carrying him and he doesn't have his mask.
I'm going Spider-Man 2.
And they're like, "Hey, your secret's safe with us. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, let me get that. Yeah.
All right. Next, Deadpool versus the Wolverine.
Oh, Deadpool.
The
Deadpool.
The Wolverine, that's the one with him in Tokyo.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad movie, but
it's not
that Deadpool is
that first Deadpool.
I could probably go with that first Deadpool. But that the Wolverine, that one
be right back.
That one was actually pretty dope because it tied in the A-bomb, the atomic bomb, like showing like how long he had been around.
Yeah.
Like the effects of that first trilogy of movies. How having to kill Jean Grey played on him.
Oh yeah, like he was almost turning into like the feral version of himself, like a pure like Wolverine.
That one, wow, that one's up there for me. That one's actually pretty good. If we want to talk about that, one could be there. Like the Deadpool movies, I definitely didn't like Deadpool 2. I just thought that one was, I don't know why I could never connect with that one. I may need to watch that one again.
Yeah.
But that one was tougher than I expected that one to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd have to be Deadpool because I probably would go with Wolverine on that, but y'all two have already voted Deadpool, so we can go with that one. All right. But yeah, the Wolverine though, that one was a pretty solid movie.
All right. Next, we got The Amazing Spider-Man versus Blerd.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, that's the first Andrew Garfield one. Now I will say this. Andrew Garfield before Tom Holland, to me, I liked him a lot more as Spider-Man. He was a great Spider-Man, and I loved the chemistry him and Emma Stone had.
Yeah, I just think, like you said, with his casting, he was just primarily too old. Him and Tobey Maguire, what they were doing was they were starting them too late in their high school careers.
Right.
Like when Spider-Man really got college, it in like early. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he like rounded into high school. Like that's when he was doing it. So that's why I said the Tom Holland one like just fits all together between him being Spider-Man, the storylines, like all of that just works best with him. Because Andrew Garfield, like he looked way too old, like even older than the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in some cases. So but I like some of their stories though. Like the storylines of that Amazing Spider-Man run were
I actually liked it.
Would it have two of those?
They had two of them, but what the storyline for the second one would have been good, but they tried to put too many villains in there.
They did way too much. They tried to put.
What was the second one?
The one
with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, when he was Electro, and then they brought Harry Osborn. And then they had.
See, I just felt like
they put too many villains in there.
One thing they do with the Spider-Man thing, well, not necessarily, which I'm glad they didn't do with the Tom Holland thing, like they did with Batman. They always show like the Uncle Ben passing type thing, like Bruce Wayne's parents dying.
Yeah, well, like
we get that already, and so like them, and also my thing with the Tobey Maguire versus the Andrew Garfield is that they did the not the Doc Ock. They did the Hobgoblin like story. Like they did that part already. Like we don't necessarily need to see that. Like you could have took that and introduced like more characters instead of like reing up on dude or whatever. So
that's one thing I do hate. Like there's 3 origins we do not need. We don't need Superman, Batman, or Spider-Man. We don't need none of them.
Yeah, right. Like we
none of those.
Know what time that is. Like
we already know how it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. But with that being said, Blade.
Blade goes.
Blade. Yes.
Blade.
Motherfuckers always want to ice skate uphill.
Yeah, yo, Blade, listen. Them blades, all 3 of them blades were raw, man. Like,
man. That'll tell you what my favorite scene.
My boy Mahershala Ali, like take him.
He's gonna kill it.
I can't wait.
I would tell you what my favorite quote for Blade is. What? My favorite scene is when he's in the hospital and he's getting the girl and the cops shoot at him. And they shoot at him. It's like, motherfucker, are you serious?
Yeah.
like he goes from being Blade to Wesley Snipes in just like a instant.
Yeah.
I hope somehow, some way
they incorporate.
They could either, they could bring Wesley Snipes back in there.
I think they will.
Mentor type, or maybe as his dad. Like some, like I know it'd be kind of tough, but they're gonna have like little Easter eggs in there.
I would like for with the Mahershala Ali, I would like for him for Wesley Snipes to maybe play the villain.
The villain Blade in that one?
Yeah, I would prefer him to be the guy that's like, what's his name?
Whistler?
Yeah, I prefer him. That would be cool for him to be Whistler.
I don't know, maybe because I always like Wesley Snipes as a villain.
See, and I don't think that Wesley Snipes will necessarily do that because I feel like he feels like he could still like get out there and like, because he is like a martial artist, so he probably thinks like he's still good enough to go out there and like be in these movies as like a cast. So he probably want to fight side by side with his Blade or something like that. But I just don't know like how much of a back seat he would take, to that storyline. So they might just have to throw in a few Easter eggs.
Marvel could step out on a limb instead of trying to adapt certain parts of certain comics with Blade. They can try to incorporate the first Blade into it and probably like a passing of the torch, like the second.
I'll give me 1 second. Hold on.
Like try to make Mahershala Ali possibly his son that he had no idea that came about, and then pass the torch on.
Or mess around, it could be like a brother that from that original, like his mom had 2 of them. On some crazy shit.
Like just
said no.
Like take a step out. Like you're Marvel, so you can. You have the clout now to where you can change characters dramatically like that. Like you can create a whole storyline.
What would be fire would be that if they brought it back to where the originals were when Blade
y'all
was
go ahead and start talking about Deadpool and Blade 2. I'll be right back.
Okay, you good.
Like when Blade was born, like he had a twin, but he didn't know because they took him. And so they started running, like they had him in a lab, just like running like tests on him or something, where the vampires were trying to become daywalkers. And then it just doesn't and then Blade somehow finds out about this and then like goes on a rampage to get his little brother back and like dies.
Excuse me.
And he like dies in the first movie, and then that what carries Mahershala Ali on through like the rest of the trilogy. Bless you.
No, press you. No, like that's what I'm saying. Like something like that. Like try to make it to where you can still have Wesley Snipes in there and go through the whole movie, and then he like pass away or he just passes the torch. Because now you're paying tribute to both of them.
My thing is though, they have to make it work with inside of the MCU phases they got now. So that's why I think it cripples the relating back to the old.
Well, now think about it. Now you got with the Doctor Strange Multiversal Madness.
Oh yeah, I did see where they said that could
that you can incorporate that.
Introduce Blade there,
yeah.
Like you ask some type of, because you got to think like we don't have vampires in the MCU yet.
Yeah.
Like we don't have X-Men there yet. So it's like, how are you going to, like that? I think that's the next like that Fantastic Four, X-Men, like trying to incorporate them in their Blade. I mean, we know that Blade is coming. The Eternals movie possibly could have something to do with that as well.
Well, Eternals going to introduce mutants because that's technically they started all that with the deviants and all that other stuff. So I understand why they're doing their Eternals to introduce the mutants and X-Men. But I just think that's what you can do with Blade, do with the Doctor Strange Multiversal Madness.
It's gonna have to be with Doctor Strange, especially with I think I forgot where the Wesley Snipes Blades were, but I thought it was New York, but maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, what better place for vampires to be at in a city that don't sleep, like in New York? So
you have to.
As far as location wise, like that could work. Yes. And then, like I said, it's adapting that storyline because Black Panther 2 is gonna have phase 1 and phase 2 like implications. So that's why I think they went ahead and pushed that one so far out too, because it's a lot you got to think about in trying to mold these stories together.
Yeah. So Deadpool 2 and Blade 2. With this one, I wasn't the biggest fan of Deadpool 2. So for me, I'll probably have to go to say Blade 2. Only reason Blade 2 was a whole nother movie in itself that really it carried the story on along from the first Blade, but they didn't like make it like kind of like scene for scene like the first Blade. I feel like Deadpool 2 was okay, we're gonna do the exact same thing for Deadpool, but we're gonna amplify it 10 times more.
Yeah, I that Deadpool 2 just lost me, man. I don't know if it's like breaking the third wall, fourth wall, whatever it's called. Like, I don't know if they just went overboard with that, but
yeah, they did.
It didn't work for me. Blade 2.
No, I agree. It's going to be Blade 2 for me.
All right. Punisher. Oh, Logan. Sorry.
I don't know.
No, Logan. No, the Logan, the last trilogy of Wolverine Origin, the Wolverine and Logan, the Punisher.
I really honestly thought Wolverine could have had a better send off. Like, I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to go into that whole Dark Knight-ish mode where it's like, you make a darker style movie, more violent. I think Logan was rated R.
Yeah, it was rated R.
Also, but I just felt like they got so far away from. I don't know. I think they got too far away from the comic book stuff in that one and made it too like real life, to where it was like, come on, granted he was weak in his powers, but he should have been well stronger than a lot. And then the introduction of the clone of Wolverine.
Okay, so
I don't know.
So the Punisher versus
that first Punisher
Logan.
had pain though. I'm going to Punisher.
Okay.
That first Punisher, I think that Punisher was actually pretty slept on. I like that one. I'm gonna go Punisher.
I'm gonna go Logan. Logan, like, to me, I thought it was the perfect sending off the Wolverine. Like, the fact that he's struggling, like this, the adamantium, the thing that was like, let's be honest, kind of keeping him in the game, was now killing him from the inside. All the X-Men are dead. Professor X is, going through dementia, which makes him the most dangerous person in the world.
Right.
I mean, there's just so many elements to that goes on. And then I love the relationship between him and the little girl. Even before you found out that they were father and daughter, just that dynamic they had.
Father and daughter, fact that she was cloned out of his blood, right?
Yeah. Strictly from his straight from his blood.
Now I think that's what like personified like Wolverine over like through it all. Like, that's what, like, all right, this is the ultimate evolution of like him going from a mutant to like just a normal human type feel. Like, I think that's what it was. Like, you normally see some people going from being like a regular person to worrying about struggling with their superpowers, newly inherited superpowers, to where with this, it went from somebody that was that always had some type of mutant like gene to where at this point it was like at his last moment he was like his most vulnerable, most personable. So in that aspect of it, like to see the character arc like close like that or that circle loop around, that was actually pretty dope.
Yeah. And it was rated R.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, like you don't get many rated R movies, so like, and those are seem to be held at high regard.
Yeah. All right. Plus, if you haven't, watch the black and white version of Logan. It's incredible.
I heard that it was actually pretty good.
All right, so we're gonna move to the DC bracket now. First round of DC bracket. We got The Dark Knight versus Man of Steel.
This season.
Yeah, you might as well. Isn't even talk about this one.
Yeah.
Even though I like Man of Steel.
Man of Steel was all right. But...
Yeah.
All right, next we got Shazam versus Aquaman.
Whew.
This was a tough one.
I'll probably have to go Shazam.
Oh. I actually thought the Aquaman
I liked
and Wonder
Aquaman.
Woman were probably two of the better films.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about just like of what we saw intro wise, like solo films, like was probably because Ben Affleck's Batman didn't have a standalone movie.
Nope, he didn't.
Nope.
He was just more so like the glue between them all.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about Wonder Woman's movie, Aquaman's movie, I don't know.
This was a tough one.
Yeah,
I thought Aquaman was one of the better DC movies, but
yeah,
Shazam did bring a different spin, I think. And I think one thing that hinders that Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Flash, like Justice League is the Snyder cut. Like that, I think that holds a cloud over that so hot, so dark, and like makes that just so gloomy. Because when I read up on like Zack Snyder's vision for that, like I would have loved to see his 5-movie arc where
me too.
Spider-Man dies and his son, like Lois Lane and him have a son, and he's like the next coming of like what. Like that would have been like crazy fire. Like like I was excited about that. So I'm gonna go Shazam here.
All right. I think I'm gonna go Shazam.
That's a
too.
true 8-9 matchup. Like you talk about brackets. Like that's a pick 'em. Like you could just close your eyes and pick one of those to be honest.
Yeah. All right, Shazam makes it, advances. Next, Batman 89 versus the original Superman.
That's tough because Christopher Reeves.
There is some like technical aspects I think with Superman that people take for granted.
Yeah,
like the fact this was made like in the 70s.
Yeah,
and what and the presentation it gives us. I mean, did you ever see a man fly before that movie?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think
I haven't.
so. Really. I mean,
I'm pretty sure they have something out there, but not to
I was
the.
about to say, for us, our age range, like we wouldn't have got a glimpse of.
But for me, that
digging for it.
if I'm looking at the Christopher Reeves Batman, that Batman 89, I'll probably have to go Batman 89.
Yeah, I would go Batman 89 for the simple fact of the villain. Like Jack Nicholson is the man in that movie.
Did you see the the long nose 357 that shot Batman out of the sky? Like, come on, man! Like, how can you not like give me Batman 89 with the long nose 357?
I mean, when he's in the museum and they're sitting there just playing Prince on the big boombox.
It's a painting that it was in that movie, and that was in Todd Phillips' Joker that just came out too.
For real? Easter egg,
where he was dancing up the stairs when they had killed everybody. I think that was in a restaurant, and they're dancing up the stairs, and they were spray painting like X's over all those paintings. There's one painting that they did that with that's also in that Todd Phillips had in his Joker movie. As well.
So, all right. So I think we're going to go Batman 89. I think this is a very like good matchup also, but I think that's the right call.
So all the Batmans versus all the Supermans. That's what we're doing.
Hey, Christopher Reeves versus Michael Keaton 2. Batman Returns.
Oh, Batman Returns. I'm sorry.
This is Todd Phillips' second one, right? Not Todd Phillips.
Tim Burton.
Second.
Yeah.
Tim Burton. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going Batman Returns.
I'm going Superman 2.
I'm going Batman Returns. BY, you
Wait. This Superman 2 is the one where he actually takes Lois Lane back to his home planet.
This is the one with Zod.
Yeah, this is the one with Zod and everything.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, he went back to his planet. That's when he killed them on where they were from.
Yeah, this is the one where he gives up his powers. He gives up.
He gives up his powers. Yeah.
But he had to do it back at home, right? Into that little crystal joint.
Yeah, in the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then he got him back because he came back there and they took Lois Lane there, and that's where the movie ended at, right?
Yeah.
Give me that Superman 2.
Yeah, I gotta go Superman 2 also.
What? The Penguin, that Catwoman? Oh,
I mean, that Penguin and Catwoman's eyes.
Michelle Pfeiffer? Come on.
No, because she obviously sets the stable for Catwoman. I don't think it's ever been another one. Like, quite honestly, Quiet as Cat, she was the best part of that movie, to be honest with you. Like, as far as character in that, like, she won that. So but it's a Batman movie. And that's the thing. Like, she stole the show from Batman. So if we're speaking Batman versus Superman, it's got to be that Superman, simply because Batman really wasn't like nobody gravitated to Batman in this movie like they did Batman 89. I think Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman killed it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also say this too, like with Superman 2, with Batman Returns, there's too much going on in that movie.
It's a lot going on.
You got the
Penguin's origin story.
You got Christopher Walken.
Origin story.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
I mean, I don't agree with it, but who am I?
Hey, but here's the kicker though. Round 2, we're gonna get Batman versus Superman again.
All right, that's a better matchup there.
Yeah. Now you got Wonder Woman versus The Dark Knight Rises.
Damn, this could have been an 8-9 matchup.
The Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises could have had a higher line seating, but I'm going Dark Knight Rises, man. That trilogy I'll put up against
a lot of trilogy.
Even though Batman Begins was so slow playing.
That was a slow build. That was a slow burn. Oh,
I'm going Dark Knight Rises.
Go ahead, G.
Like, Bane was so quotable throughout this movie, man. That was ridiculous. like that alone, like. That was ridiculous. Let me get Dark Knight Rises.
I'm gonna take Wonder Woman because to me, like, not only for what that movie stood for, to me, I think it's the best female-driven superhero movie. But that scene
that might have been DC's best movie out of that whole run.
But also that scene where they're stuck in the trenches and they're like, no man can make it across that line. And she's like, I'm not a man. And then she goes out there and she wrecks shop on them.
I do like it from the, like the women empowerment part of it, because it was needed. Like, you needed like Black Widow, for what it was worth, she was always billed as like a sidekick, where Wonder Woman like stood out on her own. So in that aspect, I do give it to it. But Dark Knight Rises, dude, from the quotables to everything like that, like I can quote that movie.
I got problems with Dark Knight Rises though. Like, I think my issue with Dark Knight Rises is it's so much going on, and Batman's barely in the movie. Like, some of the stuff that they have happened, like there's stuff I love. Like, I love the first Batman Bane fight. But then I hate the reveal of Talia al Ghul at the end.
I thought it was a cool twist. I think what slept on, like, granted, we didn't get a lot of Batman, but I think that it was built into the storyline that way because he had already been off 8 years because of everything they did in The Dark Knight, where the Harvey Dent, like, law or act or whatever was doing so well to where you really didn't need him. And so I think it wouldn't have done the storyline justice for him to, like, get right back out there and like just shut shit down like it was supposed to, or that we would have liked them to. And then also Christopher Nolan stated that he went back. Like if you look at the first Batman Begins was an origin story coming of age tale. You look at the second one, that one was more like a detective movie, which it played out like a detective movie, like Batman being a detective, like, you know, tracing the bills and like doing all of that stuff, like with Joker. And so like that was cool, I think, which, you know, that's the best movie out of it. And then Dark Knight Rises was built more like a militia style movie, military type, where, you know, those movies normally focus on the villains more of what's going on, and then you get like the hero where they, you know, play tit for tat and then just come out of nowhere and just like saves the day type shit. So I think it, for what Christopher Nolan's like viewpoint of it, like it works to build out the movie. But like you said, Batman did play like a secondary role to Bane in this movie. Like this was a Bane.
All right, so
it's on YouTube. Good.
Yeah. So
really
all right. So for me, if I'm sitting here and I have to choose, and I'm looking at it, this is how I'm looking at it. If I have to sit down and I have to pick between these two movies, the one that I can get the most watch out of and I enjoyed, I'm probably have to. Oh, damn it!
There's no way you could watch Wonder Woman more than you could watch Dark Knight.
Yeah, I'm going Dark Knight Rises.
All right, Dark Knight Rises win.
I'm going Dark Knight Rises because that Dark Knight Rises, just like a BOS said.
This might be our first major upset.
Yeah, look, like this. I like the Dark Knight Rises because of Bane. It wasn't because of time. It was because of Bane.
Think of the first Bane we got in Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, come on,
come on, man. He didn't even say nothing.
All right. All right. Next, we got The Losers versus Watchmen.
Oh, Watchmen.
Yeah.
The Losers is dope. Don't get me wrong, but Watchmen is Watchmen is a dark horse in this. If we want to really be real, like that's a sleeper 6 seed, strong 6 seed.
All right, next we got Birds of Prey versus Batman Begins.
All right, admittedly, I haven't seen Birds of Prey yet, so but it is technically kind of like origin story versus origin story almost.
Now with this one, only thing I would have switched was I probably would have had Batman Begins and Birds of Prey flip flop in the same bracket, but just I would have had Birds of Prey 10 and Batman Begins 7. All right, so I seen it. Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey. Batman Begins, because the reason why this one is so tough, because they're both good movies. They're both, like I said, they're all kind of origin stories, but it's not like neither one had a chance to even win. Like in the next round, if you go on what happened in the next round, neither one has a chance to even win. But if I'm going off of just the movie in itself and enjoy, I want Birds of Prey because Batman Begins was such a slow burn. It's such a slow burn. Like Birds of Prey and how they decide to tell the story from Harley Quinn's point of view, and then like nothing's in order. Like nothing is order. It was actually low key good movie. It was the fact that I think what happened was the title was too damn long, so no one was like, what the hell's Birds of Prey?
They changed it though.
They changed it just because. So like I should.
But it was like 2 weeks before it went out. Like they changed
it was the week after.
It was like 2 weeks or a week after. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. But I'll go Birds of Prey for this one.
I'm gonna go Birds of Prey too. Like I like Batman Begins, but to your point, it is like a slow burn of an origin story that I already know.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Next, you got Batman: Mask of the Phantasm versus Joker.
I haven't seen, but I haven't seen the Batman one, but I'm definitely going Joker here.
The cartoon one, Mask of the Phantasm. The guy
that says a kid.
I don't
The
think
woman
so.
dressed
No.
up as
I
like
watched more Spider. Man, as a kid, I watched more Spider. I watched way more Spider-Man cartoons as a kid.
Yeah.
no. When
Than
you get
any
a chance,
Batman.
go watch Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. That probably is a low key, even though it's an animated movie. That's
Yeah.
probably one of the best animated movies out there for comic books.
With that being said, I'm going Joker also,
Yeah,
just
Joker.
because
Joker.
that movie, like I went into it like feeling one way, and by the time that movie ended, I felt so dirty and so like just
But like,
Listen, that movie
I
was
felt bad about myself.
Yes, listen, like the parts I was like, I like this part. I'm like, but this is such a dark, evil part. Like, why am I liking this?
nah, I actually love it because it makes the comic book seem real. Like it takes the real life aspect of the comic book and puts it on the forefront. So like, what if the Joker did have some type of like, laughing disorder to where, like that's
Yeah.
just what happened. Like he just showed his emotion via like that lends to character like
Yeah.
that
Oh,
makes the
yeah.
character like
Agreed.
way crazier because it's like he's laughing at everything, but is he really supposed to be crying or is he really happy
Yeah.
or you
Right.
feel me? So like that in itself of taking that sense and then taking that and applying it. So say if we take that as a true Joker origin story and then apply that to everything else, like look how like how the Joker character just like blossoms, for lack of a better word. Like that Joker was ingenious.
And just showing
Yeah.
like,
I
and if
love that
you,
spin on it.
but if you decide to go further on the lawn, because I'm not sure if this is true, but I read that there is a thing where they might, for the not this upcoming, but the next Batman movie from the one with the old boy from
Robert
Robert
Pattinson.
Pattinson.
yeah, we have Pat. Yeah, the sequel to that one that they're filming right now is supposed to implement the Joker.
I don't want that
Because
though.
what's going to happen? No. The reason it could is because it's going to take place solely in like Arkham Asylum type shit. So there are gonna be a lot of villains there, but this Batman is gonna get back to the actual detective style Batman,
Yeah,
like Batman was. So remember I was telling you like how the Dark Knight was a detective movie with Batman
yeah,
actually like creating
yeah.
tools and shit like that, like the money scanner.
This
He created that. Like it's gonna get back to that, showing
that
him
yeah,
as the
being a
Iron Man. Remember I
detective.
told you how him and Iron Man were so close
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he manufactured his suits and all of that stuff. Like they're gonna
yeah,
showcase a lot
yeah.
more of
This is
that.
gonna be focused
Him
on him
being
being a
young,
detective. Yeah,
right, and him not necessarily having the fighting skills and shit like that yet. So I
Right.
think this spin on it is gonna be dope as well too,
yeah,
because every Batman we've already seen, he's been highly skilled.
yeah,
Like now it's seeing him like not as skilled. Like it's
yeah,
almost like intermission, like
Right.
before he truly like becomes the man. It's like
yeah.
him, like it's a build. I think it's going to showcase more of like, all right, like
Him
this is
depending
how he
more of his
got to where he
detective
was.
style, more depending on the
Yeah,
detective
like on
aspect of
his
it than him being the physical
right,
aspect of it. Him being the best
right.
fighter.
The
Him,
member of the League of Shadows Batman, where
yeah,
it's like the
Yeah.
objectality of deception and all of this shit. It's
yeah.
like, nah, like we're gonna take this to the streets. Like
This is
he's gonna
him
be
using his mind.
interviewing
This is him
people,
being
right? His
the
mind and
genius.
Right.
his resources. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's gonna be. I think that's gonna be
And I
crazy
like the
dope.
way that they said that they're gonna put the Joker. Now you can show the Joker as just like a B White says, how it shows him having that laughing disorder. But bit by bit, it's showing it started him, okay, now he's descending into the Joker. Now like
Right.
Right.
everything is so messed up. He's being pumped full of drugs, being at a same asylum and everything. Now this is where the chaos comes in. This is the Joker. Like now
Right.
you don't know if there's even a human in him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be. I think if they can incorporate it right and they take the time to do so, I think it'll be dope. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, there isn't a Batman. The only Batman I might have hated was when they did George Clooney and they did the black and
Yeah,
red
that's when
Batman suit.
everything.
Like, don't do no
Yeah.
black.
With the Batman card
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the
like
bat
The back
nipples.
card.
that
Oh, come
was.
on, man.
All right. Now we got our non-DC, non-Marvel bracket. All right. First off, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Spawn.
I'm going TMT.
I could go TNT with that Spawn with
I'm going
George
TMT.
Leguizamo and
Michael
John
Jai
Michael
White.
White. Michael John White, like that joint was pretty cold.
It was good. It was good, but I'm going TMT.
Back then, but yeah, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the nostalgia is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like you can't top that. Like everybody as a kid probably watched that movie 1,000 times.
Oh yeah. I know I did. No question. All right. Next, we got Kick-Ass versus Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow was fire, but I'm gonna get a nod to Kick-Ass on
this.
This
I'm getting at the Kick-Ass.
All right.
Wasn't this one of the like? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kick-Ass on this because this everything about Kick-Ass worked. Like this was actually one that was real comic booky style, but the flair it had or the killing and stuff like that like made it seem a little bit different. So less jokey of a movie.
All right. Next, we got Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, you know I'm good. I'm going for this
The Mask.
I'm about Scott Pilgrim. I'm sorry. That's my movie. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That is my movie.
Man, I love Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but The Mask.
The Mask was something serious, dude. Like,
but it was more like, think about it. Back then we didn't know The Mask was based on a comic, but the comic itself is just a dark comic in general. But this is why I put Scott Pilgrim vs. the World over The Mask. The Mask, it was too family oriented. It was made to be too funny.
Okay.
For me. That's the only reason for me. Granted, Jim Carrey did an amazing job. It was meant to be too funny. It was meant to be just like a kid's movie to me. That's what it would mean. It's like it was trying to make Who Framed Roger Rabbit #2. I felt that's what they were trying to go with it instead of not sticking with the comic, but sticking the same tone as the comics. But that Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, like the comics and the movie, granted, everything is not going to be exactly the same, but I feel that's a lot more closer to being an actual comic book movie.
I'll say this about The Mask. Cameron Diaz in that red dress.
Oh, come on, man. All right, we understand.
But
old girl,
the Mask also produced Son of Mask. So I'm going Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Thank you. What'd you say, B. White?
No, I went with The Mask on that one.
He went with The Mask. All right, next. And to me, this is a no-brainer, but Time Cop versus Kingsman, the Secret Service.
Kingsman.
Yeah, Kingsman.
Yeah. I like Time Cop. Time Cop, to me, has one of the best Jean-Claude Van Damme moments where he does the split in the air.
Man, what movie does he does not do the split? Like
Expendables 2.
He wanted to be
even too damn old to do a split then.
He was supposed to play the Predator in the Predator movies, right?
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
But he wanted to fucking do martial arts, and they was telling him like, "Yo, fam, like this isn't so martial artsy," and so he was like, "Fuck it," like, and they just cast somebody else. But like he wanted to legitimately,
I read that somewhere.
Like, man, if y'all want to hear a funny story, read about them filming Street Fighter and him being coked up the entire time.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Man, oh my gosh. He had to be coked up to film that damn movie.
Man.
He had to be coked up to film that movie.
Man. All right, next we got 300 versus the Adventures of Tintin.
300.
This is Sparta.
300.
That kick in the chest was heard.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is Sparta.
I mean, that reminds me of Antonio Brown fucking kicking that punter in his fucking face mask. That was like legit.
Hey, no lie though, that movie has so many quotables.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Man, like Leonidas was so badass, man. That was ridiculous.
All right, next we got Dredd versus Hellboy 2: The Golden Army.
Which Dredd is this?
This is the Carl Urban Dredd.
Yeah, let me get Hellboy 2.
All right.
Yeah, I'll probably go Hellboy 2.
That Golden Army was actually pretty legit of a movie. Like those Hellboy, I didn't even like the new Hellboy with my man from Stranger Things in it. What's his
because they tried to do way
David
too much for that. Yeah, they tried to do way too much for that.
For one, his Hellboy just looked too fucked up. Like you can't. I didn't want to stare at a Hellboy that looked like that in the screen too much. Like I don't know if they tried to make him look too devilish or
One,
what.
they
But
didn't.
nah, you gotta tone
The
that up, man.
animation wasn't even polished enough.
Yeah, they're like Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy is probably like the staple of Hellboy.
Yeah, I mean,
like
because you got to think about it.
Hellboy
When you get too many movie too many I can't think of it, like the green screen when there's the motion caption CGI, CGI. When you get too much CGI, you can kind of tell.
No, you can tell a lot with the CGI.
The first Hellboy, those were most prosthetics. I'm gonna have to dress these people up, and that's why you get overall like a more.
But that's Guillermo del Toro's style, though. Like that's his thing. Like yeah. All right, so
Pan's Labyrinth, like
Oh, this is a tough one.
It's a tough one. The Crow versus Sin City.
Give me Sin City. That whole style of movie, like
that
was just City. Dope. Like it brought that was, if you gonna make a comic book movie, like that's you do it in the Sin City styles, like those movies. Because what they have, like 4 movies they did in that style.
Yeah, like 4 different stories.
Yeah, 4 different stories they did in that style. Like, and all of them shit bang.
Even
the one that was low key, the one that was the guy that wore the joint.
Are you talking about the Spirit?
He played in Suits. What what's that the name of it? The Spirit?
Yeah, with Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, the Spirit. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it had a different movie. Yeah.
All right, Tugi, you're saying Sin City also?
Yeah, I'm saying Sin City. Now, one thing I will say, between the 2 movies that had the best, like when first time I saw this animation, and I was like, damn, this is just different. I'll probably have to say it has to be Sin City and that Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. They're 2 totally different, like how the movie was filmed, but the animation part of it, how they introduced it, is probably had to be those 2. The one that just come to mind.
Yeah.
All right. So next we got The Rocketeer versus Men in Black.
Men in Black.
I'd fuck with The Rocketeer.
I went and looked at it probably like 4 days ago because it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I like the story. The story of it was good, but I'll have to go Men in Black.
Yeah, that Men in Black.
I'm gonna go Men in Black too, because that Men in Black was just something different. Will Smith was on top of the world.
Will Smith was in his bag during that point.
Yeah, you got to think about it. Bad Boys.
What was so crazy about Will Smith is he was catching duffel bags. Like he was starring in the movie, and then he had the lead track for the soundtrack.
Yes.
So it was like, duffel bag. Like, hand me that. Like, let me get that. Like, nah, we ain't picking nobody to do no lead off video for this. Like, this gonna be fine. He did it for Wild Wild West. He did it for Men in Black.
All right.
Know how to pick up a bag.
All right, we just finished round 1. We're going to go into round 2. I'm just making some notes.
Okay.
So this is what, Sweet 16 right here?
Yep.
So we get through the Sweet 16 and then do Elite 8. Where you want to reconnect for Elite 8?
Yeah, we can do that.
Want to knock them all out?
If you got time, we can knock them all out. It should go quicker as we go through.
Oh, yeah, because we done talked about a few of these movies already. So, that's right. Yeah. All right, which bracket are we going to attack on this one?
All right, so we're going to stay in the since we're already in the non-Marvel, non-DC. Okay. We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Kick-Ass.
Oh, I'm going TMT.
Man, they threw Raphael into that skyline.
Raphael got his ass handed to him. He was on that damn roof. Listen, they gave the Raphael fucking hands. They put no paws on him.
Yeah, let me go. Yeah, I'm going Teenage.
All right. Next, we got Scott Pilgrim versus the World versus Kingsman and Secret Service. I'm just going to say this. I like Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, Kingsman.
They don't got that church scene.
Yeah. That Kingsman was wrong.
Colin Firth. That movie made me a fan of Colin Firth.
Listen, that Kingsman, oh my gosh.
All right. Next, we got 300 versus
300.
Hellboy. Yeah, 300.
300.
Yeah.
300.
Yeah, we can put even that. I mean, I think that Hellboy would
It would stand up, but
it would stand
300
up, but yeah. All right, next we got Sin City versus Men in Black. I gotta go Men in Black.
I'm
Yeah.
going Men in Black
Yeah.
too. It's hard to bet against Will Smith in that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, next we're gonna go into DC.
All right.
Starting at the top, we got Dark Knight versus Shazam.
Dark Knight. You already know where that one's going.
You already know that one's going.
Yeah. Some of these
you gotta
just
expand the list on another one. Oh, damn.
I'm going 89.
Yeah, I gotta go 89.
That 89 is just so classic, man. Like,
I'm going 89.
And what Tim Burton was able to do back then with like the scenes of the movies and stuff like that.
He created a universe. He created literally like a whole universe that the Batman animated series had to pull off of.
Right.
And everything. He created a whole universe.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got The Dark Knight Rises versus Watchmen.
Damn.
It was a tough one.
I'd probably go Watchmen.
Yeah, I go Watchmen.
I'm probably going Watchmen.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Next we got
Watchmen after
this. This is not even. I already said this is not even winning them the next round. So we already know. We already know what this one's going to be.
So I mean, like this round is going to go a lot quicker. All right. We got Spider-Man. All right. Now in our non-MCU Marvel bracket, we got Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse versus.
That's mine. I'm going that one.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse. That was just too good of a movie. Like, that shit was just too good.
Yeah. All right. Then we got X-Men Days of Future Past versus Spider-Man 2. This is a very tight one.
I'm going Spider 2.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. I mean, if y'all both voted, it's going.
Yeah, I'm going Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man.
If you tell me I gotta watch one of these two movies, I'm going Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
let me get
2.
that Spider-Man.
All right, next we got Deadpool versus Blade.
Blade. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm a bigger Blade fan.
Yeah,
I'm going Blade.
And I could watch like you said, watchability. I could watch the Blade movies
more than I can do Deadpool.
Yeah, do that.
There's more to the Blade movie, the first one, because you got the whole, like, let's be honest, Deadpool is literally just 3 scenes.
Yeah, really, right. That's really it. And all this other outlandish shit.
All right, next is Blade 2 versus Logan. I gotta go Logan.
Blade 2 for me. I'm going Blade 2.
Blade. Oh shit.
Telling you on this one too.
Oh shit. I'm going Logan.
All right. Logan.
I'm going Logan. Only reason I got Logan is because that X-23.
That little girl kills it.
That X-23. When she came and she threw that damn head.
Yeah. All right. Avengers Endgame versus Captain America Civil War.
I'm going Endgame. Y'all know how listen, I'm going by Endgame.
Endgame might be the only like 3-hour plus movie I can like sit there and watch and like.
Oh, for sure. I've watched that shit several times.
Yeah.
But damn, over Civil War. Oh my god.
Man, listen, it just something to.
Civil War has that one scene with the airport. Yeah, but that scene, the airport, is nothing compared to that event, to that on your left Avengers Assemble scene.
Yeah, that's true. So.
No, man. When he got that hammer.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say that. With the hammer. Like I said, that final, like the climax of the movie.
The final 45 minutes is probably some of the best.
When he finally said Avengers Assemble.
But see, that's the thing. From when they decided to fight Thanos, those 3, from there on through, like you had every emotion from there. Like you had the excitement, you had the fear that like, like Thanos might really pull this shit off again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had the emotional part with Tony Stark died. Like you even felt happy, like hearing the Avengers, like the Avengers Assemble joint. So yeah, that scene in itself, like
Hey, real talk. How was it when y'all's, because you know that video's been going around the internet a lot of the crowd reaction to where Captain.
It was the same thing. It was the same thing in my theater. Like,
man, you ever been so hot in the theater because everyone's crying?
No, like, dude, I tried as hard to hold on an Endgame when Tony Stark dying. Like it was like, all right, like you it has to happen type thing.
But listen, so that like, cool. Even though you know it was coming, you like listen. That shit hurt.
What broke me was the part where his daughter asked for cheeseburgers. Like and it rung back to the first. Like that was it for me. Like I was like,
you want something to eat? I want some cheeseburgers.
You know, and that's that's the thing people don't talk about in Endgame is the stuff it calls back to. Like if you somebody who watched all of those movies,
right?
Like when Captain America's fighting himself, he's like, Bucky's alive. He's like, what? Because he knows that's his trigger.
Right. Like, it was that, but also it was the part with my favorite callback from anything that pretty much that brought the 20 some odd movies together or full circle was at the end of Iron Man saying, Tony Stark saying, I am Iron Man, and then him doing it again with the snap, like that was it. Like it was the perfect like send off, like you and you could see that Endgame, like I said, Endgame was a movie where it was almost like an origin story. Like it had to fill out the story to complete it. So the action had to be smashed into one. It couldn't be continuous action throughout the movie.
One thing I did like about Endgame was with the Iron Man arc as well, is that each movie, as time goes along, you can see him had this, and I won't say disdain, but his dad wasn't his most favorite person.
Yeah.
And then as time goes along, each movie he's in, you see him get a little bit more respect, a little bit more love with his dad.
Yeah.
He understands
it. And then he has his own kid. And then when he got the Endgame, they showed him having a conversation with his dad. That shit to me, that was the one that was probably like, damn.
That, and it was him telling Cap, like, the only way I can do this is we can't change anything that's already happened in this 5 years. Him having a daughter, him going through all of that, because that was the linchpin of him not wanting to do anything. Because it's like he gained so much with everything that was lost. He felt he had gained so much more.
Yeah,
and so with his daughter and everything in that family aspect, and then that's what made it even more depressing when he, laid down his life, because it was like, look, like
he knew what he
like
had to do.
Like this has to happen this way for her to have a baby. Because if he never had that daughter, I don't think he would have even took up the chance of like time travel and all that. Because after they brought him back, when he fainted at the beginning of the movie, he was done. Like he
didn't want to do this no more. He was over with. I got a question for you guys about Endgame, but I'm gonna save it since it advanced. Okay. I'm gonna save it for the next round. But
this is a tough one.
Thor Ragnarok versus Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not a tough one for me. It's
I'm going
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm going Guardians.
Yeah, you can't have Thor Ragnarok without Guardians.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
They showed you how you could add that comedic spin into it, and it like and it go over well. Like that right. Fire.
All right, next you got Avengers Infinity War versus Black Panther.
I gotta go Infinity War.
I'm going to Infinity War now.
Man, I don't know.
I gotta go. Even though what it did for the culture, that Infinity War, man. Listen,
man, I'm just saying that Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger.
That's true too. I gotta think, but all right, if we're gonna do that,
if you can advance Endgame, you gotta advance Infinity War.
Not really though. No, not necessarily. Because they all can stand on their own, or you can link them together in certain aspects. But
like this, taking it in a silo by itself, like to me, the characters they introduced in Black Panther. Because the truth is, if you look at it, with the exception of the Martin Freeman character and Claw. None of those other characters are ever introduced. So we're introduced to a whole new slate of characters, from Killmonger to M'Baku to his guard.
Okay,
and they hold their own. And the fact that you see Wakanda, I mean, to me, you see Wakanda.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
But with that being said,
I got to see Thanos in action. Like,
yeah, that
we saw Thanos, but we ain't see Thanos. Like,
to me, the problem with Infinity War, I mean, the problem with Black Panther is like the final fight scene between Killmonger and Black Panther.
That was so CGI.
Yeah.
Enhanced. It was ridiculous.
Like I said, I'm sticking with Infinity War.
I'm going Infinity War too.
Yeah, I gotta go Infinity War. Okay, you guys, I'm outvoted here. Viewers saw I went for Black Panther, but I got outvoted. All right. Next, we got Iron Man versus the Winter Soldier.
I'm going Winter Soldier. That's my favorite movie.
Soldier.
I gotta go Winter Soldier. Sorry, Iron Man.
Sorry, Iron Man.
All right. And 2, 5, 16. I'm making notes on here so I can know where to edit at.
All right, you good? While you doing that, going, man, this damn coffee and water got running through me.
All right.
Yeah, piss too. Hold on.
All right, we'll take a break.
Oh, I mean, I can still hear you. Y'all right. Want to? Well, no. You know what? Let me put these headphones on. Y'all want to hear me pissing?
All right, while they're gone, everybody, just thank you again for joining us for this comic book movie bracket. I can see the first round is a little bit long, second round a little bit shorter because we got a lot of those arguments out. Just some things coming up. We got the views for the culture, where we're going to be doing a retrospective look at all of the Black movies that either you've seen or what you should watch. That comes out next week, starting with movies based in New York. So make sure you be on the lookout for that. Remember to subscribe and drop a comment, drop a like. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those views up. Again, everybody, welcome to Blerd Lines. We're just waiting for Tuga to come back, and we'll go ahead and start round 3.
All right, so we're starting back off with Endgame and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Oh man, this is like, I'll be honest with you, this is like choosing between your dog and your child.
Well, I'm choosing my child, so Endgame.
Exactly. Exactly. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Where are we at?
We're at
Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go Indy.
Yeah, I gotta go Endgame also. Like I got memories with my dog, aka Guardians of the Galaxy. But there's something, my child always does something to surprise me and make me love it, and that's what Endgame does for me. All right. Next, you got Avengers Infinity War versus Captain America the Winter Soldier.
I'm going Winter Soldier.
I gotta go Winter Soldier also. I gotta go Winter Soldier. I think with Winter Soldier, to me, Winter Soldier is to me the best well-made movie in the MCU.
It is. Storyline to action and everything. It really is. But I look at both across the effects of what it had in the MCU. So Winter Soldier, it had some effect, but it didn't span past maybe Iron Man, but Black Widow Captain America and like Shield. Like it like stopped there, so it didn't necessarily have bigger
No.
I don't know, man.
No.
I think character wise it did, because Captain America after that movie became a whole totally different person.
You got to think about it. He said you saw what he did for Bucky.
Right.
And think about Bucky and Civil War and everything else.
But that's what I'm saying. So look at the characters it affected. Like, granted, like, you know, you get earthly stuff, but Infinity War, it opened the character slate out a whole lot more for like other potential stories and things of that sort. Like that's how I'm looking at it in that aspect. Like Winter Soldier for what it did for the MCU, and then Infinity War for what it did for the MCU.
Winter Soldier affected more of the storyline to me than Infinity War. Only reason because, one, you got S.H.I.E.L.D. was really Hydra the whole time. So now the government is not really trusted to a certain point. One, Captain America doesn't have a country to fight for anymore.
Yeah.
Bucky is brought back to life, but now we come to find out that Bucky did so much grimy stuff. Like, can you forgive him? He killed Iron Man's parents.
Right. But that was in Civil War though. We didn't find that out.
Yeah, but it's implied in the Winter Soldier that he has something to do with it. Like, it's implied. But I think, you know, to me, this is the movie that made me a Captain America fan. Like, and I think, and honestly, if you look at it also, if it wasn't for Winter Soldier, you wouldn't have the Russo brothers doing Infinity War.
That's true too, because they did do a whole great job with this. I mean, they got a bunch of different movies outside of the MCU they did. That's dope too. Yeah. This one's y'all call on that one. Y'all went Winter Soldier.
Yeah, we're gonna go Winter Soldier. All right. Going into let's cut across this time.
All right.
We're going to DCEU. We got The Dark Knight versus Batman 89.
Dark Knight.
All
right. Then we got Watchmen versus Joker.
Ooh. I'll probably.
If I'm going watchability, I'm gonna have to go Watchmen on this.
I am too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Watchmen because I just don't know. Like, we've seen pre-Watchmen, post-Watchmen, especially with the Watchmen television show.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be interesting to see where this Joker goes. Like, if it ties more into Robert Pattinson's Batman, or if they keep this just in a vacuum in itself, type thing. So yeah, it's a lot of unknown with that, which I know you can't really forecast out that way, but Watchmen has a slight advantage. It's almost like a blue blood school, like Kentucky.
Right.
Like, they got history, so you kind of almost got
No, I agree. All right, next you got Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Man. Spider-Verse is probably the best Spider-Man movie.
I told G that Spider-Verse is a dark horse in this whole thing, man, because that movie was like, it doesn't feel like a cartoon. That's the thing. It doesn't feel animated. Yeah. And that's what's so great about that movie.
Ooh. Blade versus Logan.
I'm going Blade.
Blade, man.
Yeah, I gotta go Blade also. I love Logan, but Blade is... I'm not going to cry at the end of Blade. All right. And then for this last round, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Kingsman for me.
Yeah, I gotta go Kingsman.
Yeah, Kingsman.
All right, our first number one seed is out.
I knew that was gonna have to come.
Yeah, like I said, Ninja Turtles. That was going to. I told you that was.
I'm honestly surprised they got as far. Go back up to Teenage Mutant. Let me see what their bracket look like.
They went and get Spawn and Kick Ass.
Yeah, like.
Oh, well, so they actually had a number one seed type bracket when you think about it. Like, they had to do a little bit of work in there with that Kick Ass part.
But when you get to the nitty gritty,
when you get to that Elite Eight, that's when
it's more that comes into play. So all right,
All right, then you got 300 versus Men in Black.
Oh,
so that Men in Black still is up there for me. Like
I'll probably say Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black is a movie I can watch all the time. Like it doesn't age. And
I can watch 300 all the time too, but it's like 300 it has that historical aspect of it, which it doesn't seem like it's a comic book movie, even though that it is. Men in Black seems like a traditional comic book to me. Like,
not only that.
300 was made in that same sense of almost that Sin City style, comic book type feel there. But my thing with it is the reason Men in Black is so watchable because you don't have to like sometimes violence. You have to be in a mood to watch certain violent movies.
Yeah,
like if we want to be real, like I can wake up and watch Men in Black. I can't wake up and watch 300. Then I'm on some like fuck the world type shit.
And then like the crazy thing with Men in Black is I can still laugh at the same parts because the shit is just funny.
Not right. Like Men in Black holds up well over time. Like, it has held up well over time too. So.
All right, so Men in Black advances. I will say, I'll say this from our argument when we do this. So let's move on to
the final four.
No. We're about
Elite
to get
Eight.
to
Elite Eight.
About to get Elite Eight. Let's stay in this bracket though.
Okay.
Oh, wait, Elite Eight going to the final four. That's right.
Kingsman versus Men in Black.
If I'm going enjoyability, I'm probably going Kingsman. If you tell me I got to watch Men in Black and then I got to watch Kingsman, I get more. I'll probably say Kingsman.
I got to go Men in Black.
Kingsman does give you some comedic relief inside of the violence, but fuck, man.
When he closed that door, when he locked that door in that pub,
yeah.
Man, I don't know. I got to go Men in Black, man. Like I'm gonna say this Men in Black for one reason and one reason only. When Will Smith was trying out to be Men in Black, and they were in that dark room, and he shot that little girl in the head.
Oh man, he explained it. Yeah,
and he explained it. I was like, oh, this is.
Let me get Men in Black.
Yeah, I gotta go Men
in Black. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They come to MIBs. That was wrong. So.
My mama got me a pair of Ray-Bans because of that movie.
Your mama was nice. Mama told me, if you don't get the hell out my face.
Next, in the DCU bracket, we got The Dark Knight versus Watchmen. I think
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
The darkest of nights.
All right. All right. Next, we're going to go to MCU. We're going to go across again. Avengers Endgame versus Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Fuck.
That'd be Endgame for me.
Yeah, Endgame.
Yeah.
End the game. We're in the Endgame now.
All right. And then last but not least, but I think we all know where this is going.
It's going to be Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
The Spider-Verse.
That's Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse, man.
All right. Low-key, Spider-Verse is probably the best Spider-Man movie they put out.
I told you this is the dark horse of this whole entire bracket, man.
All right, so let me make a time recording. And remember, I told you like that first round, it was going to be long because we were trying to explain. Yeah. All right. Now we're in our final four. First up, Avengers Endgame. No, you know what? No. First up, The Dark Knight versus Men in Black.
Dark Knight.
Sorry. Dark Knight versus Men in Black.
Yeah.
Dark Knight. Sorry.
I gotta go Dark Knight on that one. Yeah, I gotta go Dark Knight on that one.
I agree.
Wrong one, G. Wrong one.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, thanks. All right, sweetheart. Daddy's recording. Yeah. Hey, hold on, y'all. I'll be right back.
Bring your ass on, Daddy. Yeah. Bring your ass on, daddy. Enough of this shit. Man, listen. Low key, this was fun.
This was fun. I would like to do this one again. We got.
I was thinking video games.
I would quite honestly. Once we get to, I think we could have did just a full out just Marvel bracket.
Yeah,
that would have been fire. I mean, I think it would have been a lot more depth and thought put across them. We'd probably have to, and then when you go to Marvel movies, you'd have to take their IMDb ranking or maybe Rotten Tomatoes ranking and then seed them that way.
Yeah,
it'd probably be the most even way to seed them.
Yeah,
and then just go from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Ooh,
next we got
Spider-Verse Endgame.
Spider-Verse Endgame.
Endgame, man.
Endgame.
It was cool, Spider-Verse, but
Endgame.
Endgame. All right. So here's what we'll do. I'll do this. I'm going to take this out right quick. Since we both know it's Dark Knight versus Endgame. Greatest comic book movie of all time.
Is Men in Black?
No. Dark Knight versus
Oh.
Avengers Endgame.
All right. So this is just me. Because of the significance of it, and this is such a tough one. Because if I go off the hero, the villain, the storyline, and the climax, I will probably have to say the best villain is going to go to the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Climax has to go to Endgame. Hero, I got to go Batman. Because it's hero, like the hero, like ultimate, like the hero, what he had to do.
We know who the ultimate hero was in Endgame.
Yeah, like we already knew that. Like I'm just going because
it's Tony Stark in it.
Yeah, and the overall significance of it, and in like ultimately, Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, everything that went behind it, that had a major impact on how that movie did.
I think
that movie would have been successful.
I don't think it would have been successful. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been successful. It would have been successful. I just think that what happened with Heath Ledger, and they kind of even like delayed it just because what happened with Heath Ledger, it kind of gave it that little extra boost.
See, my thing with the Heath Ledger part of it is like you said, I think if he didn't pass away, then I think it would have had way higher implications for that trilogy. I think that third movie would have been, I think, a little bit better. But I'm going Dark Knight simply because it took what we thought. Like even all right, let's take Heath Ledger. Like he was a like method actor, so the what he went through to get ready for that role, you could ultimately see how it took a toll on his life, like in general or whatever. Like he researched like the past Jokers, like where he found his laugh from, as opposed to origin in that, and then like each story of why he got the scars and things of that sort, like which they all could have been true, honestly.
But you just don't know.
but that's the thing though, like that's what adds the lore to it, because a lot of Endgame, everything was very matter of fact, like you knew what was what, like at that point in time, like everything had been mapped out. But when you take the Dark Knight, it's like, did he really, like, were those stories truly the thing? But think about what he did as an individual. Like he came into that whole movie of saying that Batman is my enemy and I'm going to take him down and I'm going to do whatever it takes to do that. Like this man put like the chaos he caused, like in that movie was like crazy. So, and then not to think like it was the only quote unquote superhero movies that won Oscars. So it like I said, it took what you thought of comic book movies and
And
flipped
it
it on
turned it.
its
Like,
head.
you wouldn't have Avengers Endgame without The Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these thematics of it and stuff. Like I think honestly, the Captain America movies were made better because of the Dark Knight trilogy as opposed to
Yeah.
anything else. If we really want to be true to it, because the Captain America, he's technically like Batman. Like as far as like you look at the characters, like do they really have superpowers? Like they don't look like overbearing or overpowering or whatever. They just look like a common dude or whatever. And then like, like once they get into the midst of stuff, like that's where it all like comes to play. So for me, this one was technically kind of easy. It was Dark Knight.
I'll probably have to go with The Dark Knight. But the only reason the end game got this far was because of the ending. Like, let's just be like really objectified it.
If Infinity War and Endgame had matched up, it was going to be Infinity War for me.
Yeah.
If they had a match.
Only reason Endgame got this far was because of the ending and where it stood at in the bracket and where Infinity War came at into the bracket.
Even though
that's my
okay.
I was about to say that's my thing with Endgame. Like Endgame was almost like an origin story where it was slow to build in certain areas, but the final scene or the climax of that movie like is undeniable. Like you could take the climax and break that down into 3 separate instances itself of Cap, Iron Man, Thor initiating battle with Thanos. Then you got Thanos seemingly winning that battle. And then you got the battle of squads that comes into place where Thanos called in his crew. Then that's when you had everybody come back.
It was like a movie in a movie.
From the Hulks. Yeah, right. Everybody come back from the Hulk snap. And then it's like, boom, now you have this major war. And then on top of that, you add in the final piece of it with like Tony versus Thanos, like 1v1, like towards the end of it. And showing how like and that's one thing we didn't talk about in Endgame also is, over the course of this Marvel arc, how Tony Stark's armor evolved to becoming like the perfect weapon to like defeat Thanos. Like, it was like shout out to new rock stars. Like I don't normally plug other people. Like maybe I can get me on the show, but dude showed like over the course of years, like when you think about it,
I saw that one.
I mean, you saw that like
I saw that one.
How his joint, how his armor like evolved over time, and like that in itself was like that's what I said. Iron Man is like
even with the nanotech inside the first one, that it took so much damage from like the shield portion of it from when before he stabbed him.
It took so much of the nanotech. Right.
It took so much from that shield that he created pretty much a shield that didn't evolve nanotech because he learned he adapted. He said, "Oh, this took so much.
Every suit,
let me get a different type of shield." That it didn't have to use some of that, and then you had the nanotech that absorbed a lot of that power from, even though it still killed him. That nanotech absorbed a lot of that power from the Infinity Gauntlet.
Like his suit had everything. Like I mean, like that final suit was like the legit one. Like he could have done anything in that suit. And so that I just think it's little things like that that made Endgame, but you got to take so much from other movies to where if we looking at the Dark Knight,
I'm going
that
to movie
in
just
itself
movie.
Was everything. Like it didn't build. The only character arc it built off of was technically Batman, and that was like
you didn't need to see Batman Begins to see Dark
right,
Knight.
Exactly, right. You didn't like each of them were their own separate instances in that trilogy. So that's why the Dark Knight as a standalone movie like holds up. Now if you're talking about Endgame and what went into it and all of that, like Endgame would possibly take the crown on this, but movies in a vacuum, Dark Knight is mine over Endgame.
I'm going Dark Knight.
I'm going to ask you guys this question and I'll give you my opinion. I think we all know who won in Avengers Endgame. It's something I've asked a lot of people. Do you think they were wrong to redo the snap?
No.
What do you mean?
No.
Like, do you think like Captain America and Iron Man, all of them, do you think it was right for them to undo the snap?
Yeah. Well, they didn't technically undo it.
But they brought back everyone who was affected by the snap. Reason why I say it is I'm of the belief that it might have been the most selfish thing I've ever seen in a comic book movie done by the heroes, because they only brought those people back for their own reasons. It wasn't like, oh, we need this person back because if they're not here, this event is going to kill us all. They even showed over the course of 5 years, the air was cleaner, the oceans were cleaner, like people were acclimating.
But it's not even that. It's the simple fact that
it was living organisms.
So it's half of everything in the universe. Like
it was like trees, like it was a lot of stuff that was affected.
So it wasn't just because of the stuff. I get what you're saying. They did it. They focus on, okay, we gotta get these people back there.
But to be fair,
they were going off of the whole universe itself. Because remember, Captain Marvel was like, oh, this is affecting everywhere in the universe.
Right.
Everywhere doesn't have the Avengers. So now you got that added weight. Okay, we have to do this because half the universe is gone.
Yeah. But how I look at it is, so yeah, it might affect y'all negatively, but what about like that person who's in, like, I hate to say it, but like an abusive relationship, and they don't know how to get out of it, and all of a sudden the snap happens and their partner vanishes.
Man, you thinking way too deep.
And they're finally free.
They're finally going down a rabbit hole.
Like we could think that way, but the implications of not bringing them back were far greater than bringing.
But then also, okay, well, think about those parents who say lost a child during the snap, right? They lost a child, but they spent 5 years moving on, and now all of a sudden that child comes back. But that's 5 years that they don't have with that person, with that child anymore. Or, people move on with relationships. Someone was with somebody, they got snapped, they grieve, but then they got married and moved on. And all of a sudden, 5 years later, that person pops up in their bedroom.
I'm with you there. But like I said, where the implications were greater, it came into play for all the other living organisms. So, like, you got to think, it's like, all right, so if we go into the sea, or we take it back to the jungle, it's like, all right, this animal preys on this animal to survive, like the whole, that whole thing, like, survival of the fittest and all that. So when you take that away, it's like the animals suffer, like the ecosystem itself was like suffering because of this, the half of living organism type thing, I think. So I think that's why I said the implications were far greater for them not to re-snap as opposed to re-snapping or just leaving it as is.
They weren't thinking, like, to me, they weren't thinking micro, they were thinking macro. Like,
right. And think about, and then you got to think about it. There were people like Captain America he was a superhero. He couldn't get over this. Yeah. And it wasn't even the fact of this potential snap happening. It was drawing back feelings from when he went in the ice and missed out on his time with what's her face,
Peggy.
With Agent Carter. So, and that's what made him go back. This whole snap is what made him go back and relive that life and become old Cap when it brought back. So it was just because Cap was hosting Lovers Anonymous? I don't know, like Grievers Anonymous type thing. Right. Yeah. And you could see where those people still, even with the Russo director was saying where he went on a date with his boyfriend or whatever, like, like in that, how they were still crying about it 5 years later.
Yeah. But so
it was some people that really didn't get over it, and where this snap, they had to like redo that snap. But remember what Tony Stark said. He was like, if we do this, I want to bring back what we lost, but not lose what we gained.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
I mean, they could have just said, hey, we can go back to this time. Hogan be like, okay, I'm going to go back to this time. And because you think the reality is on time. So all that can change the effect of before then. So they could have easily, if say like Iron Man never had a kid, they could have easily said, okay, we're going back to this time, but we're erasing Thanos.
Right.
But
they couldn't do that though, because you remember that was the whole point of what the ancient said. She said that you can't change time. What you do is you make a new branch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But like you still could have done it, but you just created another branch.
No, and no, but see, that's why I think that
the whole reason why they never did that.
It had to do it that they had to just redo everything because that was the only story where it was gonna fit. Like it made sense.
Yeah,
that's why they introduced Tony Stark's daughter, because he was like, I'm not to bring everybody else back. I'm not taking my daughter away.
Right.
Like,
all right.
Okay.
Oh no.
I was just saying that he's not taking that. So that's why they implemented his daughter. So they're like, okay, you just can't just go back in time and just go, hey, we're doing a redo just without Thanos.
Yeah.
That would have been stupid.
Yeah.
I can't. That's like BY said. We can get back from what we lost, but I don't lose anything that I have right now. So you have to just bring everybody back to this current point in time.
Okay.
Yeah, like, because if they undo the snap, then that takes them 5 years back in the past. Yeah. So now they're reliving that 5 years again.
Yeah.
The people that weren't snapped. So it would have been easier to bring back those 5 years wherever they were at, the people that were snapped, just bring them back into today's society where it'd be almost easier for them to adapt, I think.
Yeah.
As opposed to having everybody else relive that 5 years again. Because I don't know that if they did that snap, like what people have forgotten, like what the hell happened type thing.
Exactly.
Like that could have been a piece of it, but we don't know. Like the only thing we know that went into Hulk snap was bring back what we lost, but not lose what we gained. So it could have been a more in-depth snap to where it was some shit like, because he said that he tried to snap back and bring Natalia back as well too. So I don't know. It was wild in that movie.
Yeah. Hey, all right. So I'm just gonna get my thoughts.
Movie down in the 3 hours.
Yeah, you can. You can. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through the Dark Knight and Avengers Endgame. With Avengers Endgame, like I said, that ending alone is incredible. It's probably one of the greatest endings to a 22 movie story arc you could have.
Yeah.
Everyone gets their ending, whether it's happy, whether it's sad. Everyone, all the important players get their endings. With that being said, I don't think the Avengers Endgame would not get that opportunity if it wasn't for the Dark Knight and what the Dark Knight did for the comic book movie environment.
Yeah.
Like it was taken seriously. I will also say why I choose the Dark Knight is because to me, the Dark Knight out of all these movies, a lot of these movies is the only one with an established superhero that a lot of people don't even consider a comic book movie for how it's presented.
Yeah.
It's a crime movie with just a guy dressed up as a superhero. I mean, and then also we talk about the Joker, how great of a villain the Joker is. We don't talk about Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent, to me, it's more of his story than even Batman's or Joker's story, because he's the one who goes through the true character change.
You can have
you
one
see
bad
it happen.
Day.
Yeah, he has a one bad day.
Yeah.
So, all in all, even though I hated Maggie Gyllenhaal replacing Katie Holmes, but that's the story for another day. I have to say, the greatest comic book movie, I think we're all in agreement here, is The Dark Knight.
For sure.
All right. Give it up for The Dark Knight, everyone. It is our greatest comic book movie of all time. All right, guys. So we did it. That took a little longer than I thought, but not too long.
Nah, I think we delved into some areas a little deeper than others. Like some conversation, we fell some rabbit holes. But like you said, nonetheless, I think we did a great job.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, y'all, look for these videos. I'm gonna cut them up, so you're gonna get round 1 dropping soon, then round 2, round 3, until we get to our championship matchup. With that being said, I'm G Ho for Blerd Lines.
Oh, I am Too Good from Half Man, Half Nerd.
Too Good from Half Man, Half Nerd. And me, I'm just Byron out here living.
All right. Hey, hey, we got to get you on some more videos though, man. This was good.
Hey, bring me in whenever. I'm here. I'm just out here living.
Doing it Brown style, baby.
Hey, that's the only way.
So with that being said, you guys, y'all take care, be safe, and remember, wash your damn hands.
Please. Nasty fucks.
Why y'all buying all the toilet paper? Like,
nah, like I don't know. Like it kind of makes sense now that we're